It is traumatizing. It is traumatizing, and I'm speaking from a point where I have an affected person in my house, in my home, because of these things. Our brothers and sisters are really suffering out there in the hands of these evil people. And if there is something to be done, it has to be done. And it's not tomorrow, it should be today or yesterday. Because it's really hurting. It's hurting. I know of one lady who quitted her job, a good job, a government job, well-paying job. She quitted her job to become a pastor in that church, only later to be thrown out when she can't go back to her job. Right now, she's really suffering to make her ends meet. That is just one out of the million stories that I've heard here. Hi.
Have you been paying first fruit January salary?
For me, it was a kind of a different way, because this guy came and removed us from school, actually stopped us from going to school, told us that the Lord has spoken to him, that we should leave school and everything and join him. And doing it voluntarily. You are not going to school, you are not doing anything. You are just there serving him. And he comes like he's so special. He communicates with God direct, more than Jesus, So in the process, many people came, and I saw people selling their land, bringing their money. And I also saw people quitting their jobs to join him. So yeah, it happens, but you don't know the influence, what goes on. But you give out your life, kabisa, okay, all your life, your valuables, until people, some are even depressed right now as we talk. Many that I know are depressed because you come to realize later it was all but a lie.
Were you also paying all this money?
For me, I did not have money to pay him, but he took away my youth. He took away my education, my everything. I'm now almost 40 years. I just did my secondary education the last day. Why? Because I realized later that this guy was a liar.
Wait a minute. So you had to dismiss from school? You had
Of
to stop
course,
going to
he
school?
came and
You
told
had
us
to
Jesus
stop
is
going
coming.
to school?
Yes, he came and told us that Jesus is coming like tomorrow. I don't know why all of them, they always say it is end time. Jesus is coming like tomorrow. Going to school is irrelevant. The school papers are nothing but toilet papers. Those were the words that they use. So I stopped going to school. I stopped everything and I joined him,
What's
pursuing
his name?
his illusions.
What's his name?
I'm from Kenya. Owuor.
Wait. David Owuor.
Yeah.
Now it's interesting. You might have to start over. So, my brother, what really happened?
Mm.
What was your experience with David Owuor? And when was it?
Um, it was in 2006. Back in 2006, there's an orphanage in Kenya. So where I come from, okay, I was going through a situation in my family. So I was living with my grandma. She could not pay my
Okay, I don't want you
secondary
to go
school fee.
deeper into
So
your personal life, ne? I just want you to put your personal life aside. I want you to focus more on your experience with David Owuor. It was in 2006, and how old were
okay,
you in
when I came,
2006?
I was 18 years old. So I came at, there's an orphanage here. I came to the orphanage, and then one day Owuor appeared. He came to the orphanage, and he called us because I had come to join the school there. He came and called us, all the orphans there, and told us the Lord has spoken to him, that we should serve the Lord and leave everything. Yeah, I listened to him, because when you hear that God has spoken, I listened to him, and I left everything and I joined him, and we started. So from there, okay, in the beginning it was more of kind like luring us, but as we went deeper and deeper, it became more aggressive, and more of you have to do it, and commands and everything. So As we continued later on, I got married. And then when I got married, one day we had an incident where, okay, these people are very rough, where my wife was 8 months pregnant, and we were like called out in the cold, and we were, harshly rebuked and names called and chased away by the way from the institution. So that is after they have realized that, okay, um, you you don't have anywhere else to go, because the other tactic that he used on me was to disconnect me from my family members, to disconnect me from my friends, and to make them like they are evil. They are going to sway you away from the mission of going to heaven, so you have to like do away with them. So like over 10 years later, I'm totally disconnected from any family member, from everybody. There's nobody you can call. Now this is the time when, the guy shows you the door, tells you now you are on your own. Now you have to find a way of, living on your own. You can't go back to your people, because your people, you spoke bad about them, you called them demons and devils, and you told them that you found the truth and you found the right way. So there is nobody you can go to actually. You are like alone now. So the only place you can come back is to come back to the same guy and, say, okay, I'm sorry, please forgive me. So the experience was kind of rough. And it's something that never heals actually.
So now you are 40.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
And
40 now.
you had to start school all over
Which
again.
40 or 30? I had to go to school and do a crash program. Thank God there's an adult education here. So I had to go to school and do, instead of 4 years, I had to do 2 years. And, you can imagine secondary school and you have children. I now have 3 children. You have children, you have a family to run. I'm doing some businesses. I'm just trying to pick up the pieces of my life, only realizing later that it was all but a lie. Because, okay, in the beginning, there was some humbleness, which was a false one. But later on, when, money came in, cars and mansions. So, sorry. So, now the people who were, kind of poor, we were put aside, and now he now works with rich people. But for us, we were just building a bridge for him.
So you started with Owuor when you were still a nobody in his early days,
Yeah.
and he threw you away just like that.
Yeah. Yeah. After, he made a living now, we are irrelevant to him. I'm not alone. We are so many people, but I'm just the only one who, okay. Later on, I realized, okay, my wife got depressed actually, because she was like 100%, this guy is the right one, he's the one who is taking people to heaven. Until one day, when she encountered the ugly truth and unprepared, she got depressed until we ended up in a mental hospital. I can tell you, it is a serious thing out there. When people hear you talk, when people hear you speak, until you meet people who have been in these situations, it is a serious thing. I ended up with my wife in a mental hospital. And until today, we are just trying. She had to go to the psychiatric doctors. She had to take antidepressants rather. It's really it's real. It's real. It's not just stories, but it's real. Yeah.
Brother, that what you are talking about is very sad. And
Okay, I'm telling you, yeah, there are real stories out there, but people are afraid and scared to talk about it, because the more these people get money, they also find their way into the government. They have lawyers, they have police, they buy the government, So in Africa, those who have money have a bigger say. So when they buy the government, when you come out to talk, it's kind of dangerous. Yeah.
so he convinced you all that the world is about to end, so you must follow me.
Okay, the thing is, yeah, those are the message, but you are not allowed to read any book. You are not allowed to listen to any other preacher. You're just alone on your own. You only listen to one voice. And one thing that made me ask questions is because you are treated as special people. You are the chosen ones, you are the separated ones. The rest are going to hell. The rest are evil. I remember my grandmother died, the only woman who took care of me. She died, and I was to go and bury her, and I was told you cannot resurrect her. It's a system that separates you from the people who might open your eyes and help you find the truth.
My brother, you said something here. You said you're not allowed to read any other book. You're not allowed to
No,
listen
you're
to
not.
any other preacher. You're not allowed to watch any other show, but only listen to David or your entire life.
True.
So when you're home, you can't read any other source, any other book, except watching David Owo's programs, live programs, or recorded programs on his channel.
True. True. You are not allowed to listen to any other preacher. You are not allowed to read any other book. You only listen to those teachings that are well programmed for only for you, and well programmed to keep you in dark.
So what you're telling me here is all the thousands following David Owo, because David Owo has a massive crowd in Kenya. All those thousands, they don't watch TV, they don't even come to social media. They are forever listening to David Owo's teachings. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, when it comes to listening to the news, when it comes to doing things that don't take you away from him, it's at a minimum point allowed. But listening to a preacher who might preach to you and tell you the truth, it's not allowed. In our houses, we don't have Christian books. We don't have Christian magazines. We only have his magazines and books.
So what if you watch or you read other books? What's going to happen? How is he going to know?
Okay, he won't know.
He will
But
make
you
you
know
believe.
what?
He will make you believe that
Me,
you will know.
yeah, for me, I have all the books. I have books from other preachers because I had to break from it. But you know what happens? These people rule with fear. They instill fear. The fear of they love preaching about hell. They love preaching about the lake of fire. They love preaching about judgment day, doom day, and they love saying that if you disobey them, not that if you disobey Jesus, if you disobey them, you are going to end up in hell. So they instill fear. And when one is ruled with fear, they can tell you anything and you are going to believe. Especially women are more victims in this situation. So when someone tells you, okay, if you don't listen to me, hell is waiting, and in hell there are maggots. They describe hell as I was in hell. They say I was in hell and I saw maggots, I saw what, I saw people suffering. So there is a way they tune their what they say, and it instills fear in you if you are not careful. And then gradually and gradually and gradually, you start to blend in and start believing everything they say. Yeah.
And I've told people, I think I always make reference to Owo, to David Owo. I always compare him with TB Joshua, Ezekiel, and Kakande. And most people will be like, no, David Owo is a true servant of. But I've told people so many times that your David Owo's, TB Joshua, Kakande, and Makandiwa, they're all witch doctors. These are ritualists running cults. You get. And what about the miracles that he claimed to be doing of healing the sick and delivering people from wheelchairs and crutches? How do you guys organize those things? Because I know that
Hey,
nothing is real there at David, or everything is staged. Nothing.
I had to laugh at that point because um, okay, I don't know how it happens, and I don't know. That's why yesterday I really wanted that book because I've always asked myself a question. This is the question I always ask myself. You cannot serve God and you can also serve the devil, and at the same time, it's either you are of God or you are of the devil. these people, they come and do miracles. They come and do miracles. But when you look deep down into their lives, their way of life, they have a private life. And let me tell everybody listening to me right now, the private lives of these people is the ugliest. They live an
My brother,
ugly
you are far
life.
from the mouthpiece. We can't hear you clearly. Can you please come back where you were?
Okay, I'm saying, uh, 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 this is the reason why I really wanted your book, because, okay, I don't know how they do it, but I've always believed it is not from God, because the private lives of these guys, it is really dark. And when you encounter them, like when you get closer to them, there is this fear. There's this fear that, overpowers you and makes you weak and submissive to them. I don't know if I was audible.
Yeah, you were audible. We heard you. But do
Yeah.
you believe those miracles that he performed?
No, 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 I don't. Because you cannot be performing miracles of God and living the life of the devil. You cannot. You are either in or out. Okay. The good thing with Kenya is that at a tender age, our parents takes us to church. So even before he came, we were church goers. And the Bible is well taught in school. From kindergarten to form 4, the Bible is totally well taught. So like almost everybody in Kenya, even though they don't believe, but they know the Bible. So there is one thing, my brother, is either you are living in light or in darkness, but you can't practice both together. So you cannot convince me that you are a miracle worker in the day, and in the night you are a night runner. It's not possible.
What do you mean is a night runner?
I mean, you cannot be practicing the work of the devil or darkness in the night and practicing the work of God in the day. You can't be a vessel that carries both. It's either you have one. So I believe there is a certain life. There is where they get those some dark powers to do those miracles, but I don't know. For me, I really don't know. That's why I was asking for your book yesterday.
Did you join the people that were bought for? Were you part of the people that were chosen to win?
Yes, I was part, but I was part of the people that were on the platform. But something happened with my microphone; you could not hear me well, so that's the reason you dropped me.
Oh, you're that one. Okay, no, I'll send you a copy. I'm gonna buy you a copy.
Thank you
You
so
must
much.
send me your email after the program. I'll send you a copy.
Thank you so much.
Hey, but Kenyans really need to wake up, eh?
We need to. Okay. The problem with Kenya, I don't know what really happened to us. Any wave carries us. Like, I can't believe that for 20 years I was lied to. I can't believe, because you cannot, you have to put on suits, like suits and tie. You have to put on official. You have to live a way of life that it's beyond human. And to a common people, putting suits is very expensive, because you have to wash them in the dry cleaners. And in Kenya, we live, uh, those who can afford, they live now with $1 a day. Those who can afford, but others live beyond that, beyond $1 a day. So lower than a dollar a day. So you can imagine subjecting that person to that way of life. I am in dressmaking. I'm a tailor, and most of the people from that church, they only wear ready-made clothes. And for ready-made clothes, you have to have some good money for you to make them. So it's a more of a burden, and at the same time, you have to collect money. Like, money is really, really, really collected to fund their heavy lifestyle, their rich lifestyle. So it is traumatizing. It is traumatizing, and I'm speaking from a point where I have an affected person in my house, in my home, because of these things. Our brothers and sisters are really suffering out there in the hands of these evil people. And if there is something to be done, it has to be done. And it's not tomorrow, it should be today or yesterday. because it's really hurting. It's hurting. I know of one lady who quitted her job, a good job, a government job, well-paying job. She quitted her job to become a pastor in that church, only later to be thrown out when she can't go back to her job. Right now, she's really suffering to make her ends meet. That is just one out of the million stories that I've heard here. I know of one man who was, a closest, to the ministry. That man is right now in the village, totally depressed. It is the mother who is taking care of that man. Totally depressed, kabisa, and confused. So, you see, yeah, talk to people who have been there, and they'll tell you it's ugly, my brother.
So for 20 years, my brother, 20 years you've been with him, waiting for the world to come to an end.
Yeah, we have been waiting for the world to come to an end, for Jesus to appear in the sky and take us, the special people who are not living like the rest. But this Jesus, wow, he's, what should I say about him? It's complicated. You know, the problem, my brother, is this: you can end up an atheist if you follow these people. You can end up believing that there is no God if you're not careful. Because now, for like, people left their education, people left their jobs, people quit their everything. And now, 20 years later, that Jesus has not appeared in the sky. What are you going to say about that Jesus appearing?
That's what exactly I started off by saying, that Jesus has been misrepresented. And all the people who have
Sure.
drifted so far, all the people who have left Christianity, they've left all because of how they've been misled by the types of David Owuor, TB Joshua, Ezekiel, and Kakande, the likes of Chris Oyakilome, Makandiwa, and Hubert Angel. There are so many broken people out there that do not have the edge to speak out as you are doing. But from Makandiwa, I know plenty of people who started with him, funded him, bought him cars, bought him everything. But at the end of the day, he threw them away when they were broke. And I've mentioned this before, that all the people who started with all these occultic pastors and bishops and prophets, all the people who funded their inception, the beginning of their ministries, they are all broke now. They are all flat broke. It's either they are staying in the villages or they've passed away. All those people were used for sacrifices. If you look at David Owo's shrine today, you realize that all the people he started with is either they are normal or they are poor and they are suffering. And these people were millionaires.
I know. I know of one white man here. I know.
But people don't want to
I
learn.
know. I know of one white man who was doing very well, Kamsa. He was doing very well, but he had to break up from with his family to chase away the wife, and yeah, right now he's living just a miserable life.
My brother, God will restore you for all that you have lost. And,
Yeah, I'm on that journey of restoration. I've decided to live like a human being. I just woke up, okay, as I finalize, I just woke up one day and I realized, okay, I'm a human being and I need to live like a human being. I need to take my children to swimming. I need to go out there and, do the games that other people do, to play football, to swim, and do what other people should do. So thank you so much. I will send you my email.
do send me, my brother. I'll send you the copy. But just don't give up on Christ as yet. Give him another chance. And don't
Thank
give
you.
up on him because you came across a Dracula, because you came across an imposter. Always an imposter. He misrepresented Christ. The Christ that they introduced to you is not the Christ, it's the Jesus. And the Jesus that they told you is coming back has nothing to do with the Jesus Christ of the Bible. So do not lose heart. Do not be taken away from his glory. The one of the Bible is loving and caring and is in no way a representation of whatever that they've shown you thus far. So stay strong, my brother, and we will pray
Yeah,
that
thank
God
you so much.
will come through
Sorry for
for
the
you.
network. Sorry for the network. Thank you.
It is well, my brother. Just send me your email and I'll send you the copy.